Wednesdays live in Tampa, Florida, Valentine's weekend. Friday, February 22nd at the Yingling Center in Tampa. It's Frankie Beverly, the Manhattan, Shirley Murdoch, and the infamous Whispers. Tickets are on sale right now. Get them from Ticketmaster.com or charge by phone 800-745-3000.
The night away.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hey, y'all, it's Wednesday. It's Working Wednesday. My name is Margaret DeValot. I am Miss D, the job coach, and it's Working Wednesday. We are working. Yeah, in studio, we are working on making sure that you get all you need to get this morning on Working Wednesday with Miss D, the job coach, Margaret DeValot. We are working on Wednesday. Yeah, I know. You've been searching for a job all week long, and for some reason, you're still searching. Well, that's why I'm here. Working Wednesday is all about you getting what you need to get so that you can get to work. Get to work. Listen, there's 4 steps to this thing. 4 simple steps. The 4 steps are network so that you can generate job leads. Once you have the job leads, you have to apply for the jobs. Once you put in the applications, then you're going to get an interview. Once you get the interview, you've got to follow up. And that's the topic today. The topic today is follow up. How are you going to follow up on all of the steps to job search? Listen, this thing is challenging. I respect that it is very challenging. I respect that it is difficult to find a job. That's why I'm a job coach. When I used to sit on the other side of the desk as the person that was doing the interviews and recruiting people and helping them to come on board with the companies that I worked for in the past, I understood the challenge that went along with job search. I get it. I totally get it. So that's why I decided that when I had the opportunity, I would begin to teach people who were in job search how to navigate the job search journey. Yeah, I call it a journey because it's going to last for a while. If you become unemployed for some reason, or perhaps you're emerging from college, or maybe you're emerging from raising your children, something of that nature. People are looking for jobs for various reasons. Sometimes someone's looking for a job because the job that they currently have is no longer satisfactory for them. Maybe they're ready to get to that next level in their career. The idea is helping you to break it down into 4 simple steps so that the task of job search is not so overwhelming. One of the things that I recognize about job search is that it can be frustrating. That's the word I want to use today. It can be frustrating because you're not sure from stage to stage of job search. You're not sure about what's actually going on behind the scenes, if you will. What's going on when you're talking to the recruiters, what's going on when you're talking to the hiring managers, what's going on when you're going through the interview, what's going on after you submit the application. I mean, there are different phases of job search and people get very frustrated. They just want to let them know that they want the job, have a conversation about it, everybody say yes, and move forward. Well, even though the unemployment rate is somewhere around 3%, that just means those are the numbers that we're counting. There are lots of people that are in the marketplace that are looking for their next job and they're not collecting unemployment. So that means that they're not being counted. So don't let the unemployment number fool you into thinking that everybody is working, because that's just not the truth. I did some statistics just the other night, and I looked at a town of 85,000 people. And when I looked up the jobs available in that area, there were 2,300 jobs available. So I don't know. Oh man, there's some math there. So let's see, 3% of 85,000. Anyway, it's some numbers. I'm not a mathematician. What I recognized, though, was that there were 2,300 jobs available, and I'm sure there were people in that town of 85,000 people that wanted some of those jobs. Well, why are those jobs remaining vacant? Well, sometimes it's because people are just not sure what steps they need to take to connect with the jobs. Sometimes they're not prepared to look for a job. I did an interview just last week with a young lady for a project that I'm working on, and she wasn't properly dressed for the interview. She took it very casually, and that was a little off-putting to me, because I thought, you're looking for a job. Why do you not look like you actually want the job? So there are some disconnects out there, and that's what my job is. My job as a job coach is to help you, the candidate who is looking for a job, understand what the expectations are and recognize what it is you need to be doing. What steps do you need to take to ensure that you can get that job? So let's break it down. So like I said, step one is networking. There are people in your network. There are people that you know that can help you connect with the job. Once they give you the information about that, they give you the company or the hiring manager or the people that can help you to get hired, it's important that you follow up. That means that if they tell you that you got to go to the website, then you've got to go to the website. Go to the website, take a look, and find out what it is that employer is looking for. Once you find out what that employer is actually looking for, be sure that you know that you have the skills for the job that they're trying to fill. Your resume and your application should reflect that you have the skills. So if your paperwork doesn't reflect that, if your application doesn't reflect that, it's very possible that you're not going to be considered. But you've got to do the research. You've got to follow up on the leads that people give you and ensure that you align with what the employer is looking for. So follow up when somebody gives you a lead. Make sure that if you connect with the company, that you represent your friend or family member or colleague in a positive way. Make sure that you do that. Make sure that you're doing what you need to do in order to present well to the person that you've been referred to. And then the next step is applications. And applications are very, very challenging for folks because there's all these little boxes and it's online and they... Listen, you've got to go through the process. The application is a legal request for employment. So be sure that you can fill out an application correctly. Be sure that you read it. Be sure that you understand what they're asking for and you fill it in appropriately. And then be sure that you're not eliminating any critical information that could keep you that can help you to get considered. So move forward in the process in a way that says you really do want the job. That's important. That's important. Once you fill out the application and you submit it, you've got to follow up on it. Today's topic is follow up. You can't just send off the application and think, oh, they know that I'm trying to get hired. They're going to pull out my application and they're going to call me in for an interview. No, it doesn't kind of work that way, because even though the unemployment rate is low, there are a lot of people that are looking. If you go on to any of the sites like Indeed.com or Simply Hired, those sites tell you how many people have looked at that particular job. Some of them even tell you how many people have actually applied for the job. Okay, so you want to be sure that you are in a situation where you're following up on your actual application. Make sure that the research that you did, before you applied for the job, you use that so that you can follow up. Find out who the hiring manager is if you can. Find out who the HR person is. Call the company and say, I'm trying to get in contact with someone in HR. And maybe they'll give you the name. If they give you the name, then you have an opportunity now to follow up with that person and continue to see if your application has been reviewed. In some cases, they have automated systems that do all of that for you. They'll give you feedback. Maybe you'll get an email that tells you what it is you need to do next. They'll tell you that it's been reviewed. They'll tell you that someone is going to get back to you. Sometimes you get feedback. A lot of times you don't, and that's okay. That's okay. They're going through their process. Be sure that you follow up, though. You've got to put your best foot forward and let that potential employer know that you're very interested in that job. If you can find out the name of the company, call them up, call them on the phone, let them get familiar with your voice and with your presentation and your interaction. Following up is a very critical part of the job search process. So be sure that you're doing that. And then interviews. When you get the interview, there is going to be some information that you need to get from the employer before you leave the interview. There's a portion of the interview where they ask you if you have questions. Be sure that you get contact information so that you can follow up after the interview. Be sure that you know the timeline in which they're going to fill the position. Be sure that you know what it is that comes next. What are the next steps? So be sure that you're asking questions so that you can do adequate follow-up after your interview. You're also going to send that thank you note, right? Right. Yeah, you're going to send a thank you note so they know that you are thankful, grateful for the time that they spent with you in that interview. That's another way of following up. You're continuing the communication. You're continuing the cycle of communication between you and the potential employer. See, the whole idea is that you should be building a relationship. Now let's sidebar here for a minute. Just for a minute. Go with me on this. I often equate job search to that of dating. I'm going to give you a minute so you can laugh. Yeah. Dating. When you find someone that you're interested in, somebody said, oh, that person would be nice for you to date. Let me introduce you. Yeah, right. That's that networking thing. And now that you're dating, you're pursuing dating this person, right? You're going to call them up. You're going to have a conversation with them. You've got to be nice to them, right? You're going to have a meeting at some point because they want to interview you and you want to interview them, right? You were interested at first sight, but we're not quite sure yet. We got to spend some time together, right? Get to know each other a little bit. We're going to ask some questions, exchange some information, and then you can't just sit and wait for that person to call you. They may never call you. They may be waiting for you to call, right? So that's why you've got to continue the cycle of communication. Continue to talk to one another to determine whether or not you want to move forward. And now, of course, job search is not going to take as long as the dating process, but it's a very similar situation in the sense that you're building a relationship. Now, many times people tell me that they're concerned about how much following up they should do, the frequency of the follow-up that they should do. Well, different people have different tolerance levels. So it's appropriate for you to ask the hiring manager or the person that interviewed you, what is the next step of the process? What day are you going to make a decision? That way you have a timeline. You want to send the thank you note immediately after the interview, of course. But then when do you follow up after that? Well, if you know when they're going to fill the job, you want to follow up just before the day. That's right. Just before the day that they're going to make the decision so that you're at the forefront of their mind. If they had not decided just yet on that day that they said they were going to decide, maybe having an interaction with you right before they make the decision could make them choose you. So you want to stay in contact with the potential employer. You want to continue to build the relationship through communication. That's the idea. That's what follow-up is all about. These are steps to building the relationships. These are steps to you conveying to that potential employer that you want to be in an employment relationship with them. It's going to take some time. I know some of you are impatient. You want the job right now. Well, you got to be patient. You know how I know you got to be patient? And I'm going to give you an opportunity to practice your patience because I'm going to take a break. It's Working Wednesday. I'm Miss D, the job coach, and this is In Touch News Radio.
Florida and all the surrounding areas, get ready for the Valentine's Day extravaganza, Friday night, February 22nd. It's the Legends Maze featuring Frankie Beverly. Frankie Beverly and Maze live in Tampa, Florida, Valentine's weekend, Friday, February 22nd at the Yingling Center in Tampa. It's Frankie Beverly, the Manhattan, Shirley Murdoch, and the infamous Whispers. Tickets are on sale right now. Get them from Ticketmaster.com or charge by phone, 800-745-3000.
The night away.
Hey, Tampa Bay. Want to cruise to Cuba? Tampa to Havana? We've got the best prices. Call Kinsey Travel, 863-274-3715. That's Kinsey Travel, 863-274-3715. Baby, let's cruise.
Call Ricky. Ask Ricky. You need medical or a lawyer? I got the man to do the legwork for you. We tried the other ones before, so believe we hunted down 813-248-6300. Everything gon' be okay. Call Ricky, he coming. He taking care of state of Florida. Grab a pen of sundown 184-361-RICK. That's 184-361-425. Never word from the point forward, just recline. Just ask Ricky, plus your boy statewide. Just in case you missed it, I'ma tell you one more time. 184-361-RICK. Call Ricky, ask Ricky is a legal medical referral service. The doctors and lawyers in our network are trained in handling auto injury claims and giving you the best medical treatment and recovery. Dial 1-844-361-RICK. That's 1-844-361-7425. Ricky. Ask Ricky.
Hey, this is Agent Wright, better known as Mr. Clean. You looking for some great barbecue? Come see them two brothers on the grill, located at 423 Virginia Street, Charleston, West Virginia. We got ribs, chicken, pulled pork, brisket, collard greens, mac and cheese, baby. Come get some and get you a nice, smooth cigar. 304-550-4431. That is 304-550-4431. Come get some, baby. The Rib Man, mama, the Rib Man.
Hello, this is Angie Fox, founder of the Ash Wednesday Cigar Club. We meet every first Wednesday of the month at a Tampa Bay area cigar lounge. $20 per person includes a featured cigar, libation, appetizers, and a door prize ticket. Check out our list of upcoming events at ashwednesdaycigarclub.com.
It's Wednesday, a working Wednesday, that is. My name is Margaret DeBelot. I am Miss D, the job coach. This is In Touch News Radio, working Wednesday with the job coach. We are, of course, online. We are on social media. I can be followed on social media at MSD, the job coach, or at MSD Job Coach. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter. You can follow me on Facebook. I've got some folks on Facebook with me now, actually. And one of the young ladies asked a question She said that she wanted more information about networking so that she can generate leads. And that's the first step. See, each week that we're here on Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern, what I do is I cover one of the 4 steps. This week's topic is follow-up. But Heidi, please follow up with me after the show. You can call me at 704-277-8714. That's my direct number. Yep, that's my direct number. I actually answer that. You can also call in while I'm here. It's 813-444-9588. Heidi, I'd love to answer your question. If you'd like to call in, please feel free to do that. Or you can also go to my website, which is www.msd-thejobcoach.com. So you can get in touch with me even after the show. I'm available. I am a job coach. This is what I do for a living. And I'd be glad to help you. The young lady, Heidi, said that she is a traveling blogger, and she's looking for more opportunities to network and build what she is doing as a blogger. If you're a foodie, honey, we can definitely talk. Hey, look, that might be Heidi there. Hello, caller. This is Miss D, the job coach.
Oh, D.
Hey, how are you, darling?
I'm good. Good morning. I just want to call and thank you 1,000 times for helping my daughter. I really, really do appreciate it. Let me tell you, Coach, I got a call coming in. Let me stop this call. But look, Coach, here's where she is right now. So you coached her through the face-to-face.
Right.
So what next? What now that she's got the face-to-face, they're going to fly her to Puerto Rico. Tell me, what should she do?
Well, she and I had an amazing conversation yesterday, so I love that you're tracking with her through this process.
Oh, you did? I didn't know.
Because you don't, because Dad doesn't know everything. Come on now. There is some confidentiality in my relationship with the people that I coach. No, we had a great conversation yesterday. So what for those of you who don't know, the caller on the line, his daughter is a client of mine. He referred me to his daughter, and that's something that you guys can do. If you know somebody who's in job search and you want me to help them, refer them to me, and I will work with them one-on-one. And so she had the digital interview, right? We did the digital, they did the digital interview, and she was ready for that. She was a little discombobulated. She didn't think it went as well as she wanted it to, but she learned some things, and we debriefed that together. And the next thing was to have the face-to-face interview. So she's now been granted the face-to-face interview. And so we're going to talk about how she's going to continue to project herself well in that interview. We're going to talk about the research that she should be doing before she goes on that interview. She should be looking up the information that she didn't feel very comfortable with talking about in the first interview. So when you get the first interview, you take inventory of the things that went well so you can do that more going forward, but you also have to take inventory of the things that you don't think went well so that if given the opportunity to move forward to the next phase of interviewing, you're able to articulate more adequately what your skills or what your understanding is. I mean, as a person who's interviewed people and taken people through the process of the actual interview, if someone gets a bit of information from the first interview and then they're granted the second interview, if they show me that they did the work, if they show me that they went and researched what we spoke about the first time, then I now have the opportunity to say this person is someone who's coachable. That's what it shows me. This is a person that will take the initiative to move forward and do the things that need to be done in order to project themselves well. And so I think that your daughter and I are going to have a great opportunity to prepare her for the next level of interview by spending some time together. We'll do that via video. I do video coaching. I also do over the phone, and in a few isolated cases, I'll do face-to-face as well. So I look forward to the opportunity to celebrate when she gets to the point of getting the offer and we get to negotiate the salary and all of that. So I'm super excited. Thank you so much for referring her to me and trusting her career forward to my coaching.
Oh, excellent. Thank you so much, Coach D. I really do appreciate it, and I don't even know if my wife is realizes just how involved you are with coaching my daughter, and I've got to share that with her, but because she'll be just as excited and appreciative as I am. But I want to thank you so much, and also I didn't realize you did video conferences. So is there a real benefit in that?
Oh, yes, there's a huge benefit in me coaching someone via video because it's easy to have a conversation over the phone. But when I add the component of video, we now have an opportunity for us to observe each other. So they're able to observe the things that I want them to model. If I want to show them something like how to sit up properly in the chair so that their voice projects well, it also gives me an opportunity to isolate different things that may be in their physical performance that don't show well in an interview. It gives us an opportunity to monitor what their eye contact is like. We isolate the eye contact. That's a huge part of communication. So I'm able to enhance the communication cycle with the individual that I'm working with when we work via video. So I use all mediums to give them the best opportunity. I want people to project well. I want them to have the opportunity. We have all this great technology. I mean, we use social media and things like that to project out, but I use things like Skype to be able to do digital coaching, use things like Zoom. We find the medium that works for the candidate, because today in the day, and the digital interview is a thing. I'm actually interviewing some candidates right now, and I'm using the digital interview. I'm using the opportunity to use video to have that interaction because it helps to collapse time frames and allow us to get to the candidates much more quickly. I can interview 5 or 6 people in one day by doing it via video, as opposed to them having to travel to my office to be able to do those interviews. So I love the opportunity to be flexible using video.
Great. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you later.
All righty, dear. You have a great day. Thank you. For those of you who don't know who that is the DJ CEO of In Touch News Radio. Thank you so much, sir. I mean, it for somebody that works with me, of course, I have a show here, but for him to say to me, hey, what do you think about coaching my daughter? And for those of you who don't know, his daughter has a doctorate in some really fancy science. She's super smart girl, super smart girl. And I'm so excited to help her to secure her first employment since finishing school. That's just super exciting opportunity for me. One of the reasons why I became a job coach is to enable people to do the thing that they want to be doing. She's isolated a company that she believes in a great deal. She's done all of the homework, and I'm excited about enabling her to go successfully through the job search process. That's what this thing is all about. It's all about helping people to get exactly what it is they want. My job as a coach is to enable people with the techniques and the ideas and the words and the ability to tell their story in a compelling way that causes an employer to say, yes, I absolutely want you to come to work for me. So thank you so much, sir, for calling in. And if you have questions, if you're out there and you're listening and you're wondering about something as it pertains to your job search, it doesn't matter what the company, what the industry is. I'll take your calls this morning. 813-444-9588. Please feel free to call in. I love it when people call in, because sometimes your question is the one that somebody else was thinking that same question. And so you help somebody else to learn when you ask questions. We're going to continue the conversation around follow-up. Listen, there are so many tips that I could give. I couldn't get it all done in an hour. I definitely couldn't get it all done in an hour. But I want you to recognize that there are things that you can do to make the job search process active. Sometimes individuals get dismayed or get disheartened in their job search simply because they're just sitting there waiting for something to happen. If you're looking for a full-time job, 40 hours a week, you should be investing 40 hours a week in searching for that job. Now, some people say 40 hours, what could I be doing for 40 hours? Filling out applications? No, it's not necessarily going to be filling out applications. It could be networking. In fact, there's a tech conference downtown today, and that's an opportunity to network. That's an opportunity to connect with companies. That's not a job fair, but by going to a conference like that, you have an opportunity to connect with people who could possibly employ you. So looking for those opportunities to fill in your 40 hours in a week, things that are going to lead you to employment. That's what the purpose of the activities that you partake in, the time that you spend, those 40 hours that you're looking for a job. It doesn't matter what the industry is. Some people ask me, am I an expert in a particular industry? No. What I'm an expert in is helping people get jobs. The technique to gaining employment is exactly the same no matter what the industry. Now, there are nuances. If you're in construction, it's going to be a little bit different than if you're in education. If you're an attorney or something professional like that, the process is going to be a little bit different. But the basics of networking to gain access to available positions, and then filling out some level of application, whether it's an actual application online or paper, or submitting a resume, right? That's expressing interest in a particular job. Or if it's simply going in and having a relaxed conversation versus a formal interview. It's still an interview. It's still you and the other professional having a conversation to determine whether or not you should work together. So the fundamentals of getting employment are the same. I have two sons, and my younger son was looking for a job, and he'd gone through some steps. He had a family member that referred him to an organization. They took him through the process, and unfortunately, he wasn't able to get that job because there were requirements that he did not follow. There was a interaction that needed to happen via email, and it was time sensitive. He had to do it within 24 hours. Now, he's probably going to be mad I'm telling his business, but these are things that I handle with someone as a job coach. If there are steps, if there are things that you need to do, if there are things that you need to follow up on, that's what's got to happen. Every company has their own process. But if you're working with a coach like myself, I'm going to ask you the questions. What did they say after the interview? Well, you know, my son, he's my son. He didn't ask me for help. Why would he ask me for help? His mother's a job coach. Why would he ask me for help? That's nonsense. Come on. He wanted to do it on his own. Eventually, he did do it on his own. He did get a job with another company, and he did do it on his own. So he got a huge sense of accomplishment out of that. And sometimes people want to go through the process on their own, and I respect that. Actually, most of my clients are people who have tried to do it on their own first, and then they find me, or someone refers them to me, and they say, okay, listen, I tried doing this. And how come this happens? And what do they mean when they say this? And what am I supposed to do when they do this? That's my job. My job as the job coach is to help you to navigate the process, help you to understand what is the recruiter asking you to do? What are they wanting you to do? Is it important for you to do these different things? What do you say when they ask you this? How do you respond when they ask you questions about your family that are none of their business? I had to have that conversation with somebody yesterday. They were asked about how many children they had, and I said, please never answer that question ever again. That's an illegal question. They can't ask you that. But some people will try. And if you answer the question, then you now have opened the door for them having robust conversations with you about things that are technically not legal. But there's a way to appropriately respond, and that's what I shared with the candidate. But guys, listen, this whole job search process, it's not easy. It's not easy. That's why I do Working Wednesday. For those of you who don't know, Working Wednesday came about as a result of me. I used to do a Facebook 3 minutes on Wednesdays offering one tip about job search, because I know that Wednesday is one of the most challenging days when someone is in job search. It's hard to get over the hump of the week when you're working, let alone when you're not working. What do you do with yourself on Wednesday? Where do you go? Well, maybe you should go to a workshop. Or maybe you should go to a conference where you can connect with people. Maybe you should find a job fair if there's one available. Maybe you should go out in the community and do some volunteer work. Do things that are going to help you to engage with people that could possibly employ you. Working Wednesday is all about you thinking about what next in terms of your job search. It's all about you asking yourself, what do I need to be doing today to help me to connect with that next potential employer? Listen, I'm a job coach, and I'm here to help you. My name is Margaret DeBalot. I am Miss D, the job coach. I encourage you to follow me on all social media, and I think I'm going to take a break. This is In Touch News Radio. I'll be right back.
Veronica Walters, also known as Dr. V, the head of school at the Walters Academy for Entrepreneurship, a place that we like to call The Way, where we're educating today's youthpreneurs to be tomorrow's billionaires through social entrepreneurship. Do you have a student who's bored, frustrated, gifted, inquisitive, creative, business-minded? Then maybe you need to check The Way out. Listen, we have an educational platform that allows for individualized instruction. It's strength-based, project-based, and designed to help your students become the absolute best they can while starting their own business and being an entrepreneur. If you're looking for something different and you need to find a more excellent way, then you need to visit us at The Way. That's The Way, www.thewaetampa.org. Or you can call us at 813-603-7923. We look forward to showing your student a more excellent way at The Way.
Been in a car crash? Call Ricky. Don't know what to do? Ask Ricky. We will connect you with a lawyer and doctor experienced in auto accident injuries. Call Ricky at 844-361-7425. After an auto accident, you have 14 days to seek medical attention. You may be in pain, so call Ricky, ask Ricky for your best options. 844-361-7425. Call Ricky, ask Ricky is a legal and medical referral service. The lawyers in our network pay to receive referrals.
It is Wednesday. I'm Margaret DeBalot, Miss D, the job coach. This is Working Wednesday with the job coach on In Touch News Radio. It's Wednesday, the middle of the week. If you are spending your 40 hours this week looking for a job, I'm here to help you. Each week I come on at 10 a.m. Eastern on Wednesday to help you to move forward in your job search, giving you tips and ideas and strategy, if you will, on how to continue to pursue getting the job that you want. Whether you are emerging from college, emerging from staying home for a period of time, or perhaps you have decided that the job that you currently have is no longer exciting to you, no longer adequate for what you're ready to move it to the next level. Well, that's what I do. Miss D, the job coach, focuses on working with people who are in transition, moving from one job to the next, moving from jobless to employed. The ideas shared here are mine. My 20 years of experience hiring, training, and developing people. I've worked in many, many different industries, mostly in the HR side of things, helping to develop and onboard new employees. I've also worked as a recruiter. I also worked for a university as a career counselor. Being a person who sat on the other side of the desk and watched people struggle tugged at my heart and allowed me to have the opportunity to develop a business that would help people to successfully gain employment. So today I am Miss D, the job coach. I welcome your support through social media. Please feel free to follow me at Miss D, the job coach, at MSD Job Coach. I also have a website, www.msd-thejobcoach.com. You can also email me at msdthejobcoach@gmail.com. My phone number directly is area code 704-277-8714. What I do is to help people who are transitioning their career to the next level. Whether you are unemployed or a person who is employed and looking to move your career to the next level, whether you are a student that is emerging and looking for your first position, or you are an individual who's gone back to school, gotten some additional training, and you're ready to take your career to the next level. That's what I do. I get alongside of the people who are in job search. If you understand the relationship that a coach has with a candidate, it's not that the coach is going to give you every single step. They're going to give you some guidance, some insight, some strategy, some steps. That's what Working Wednesday is about. The 4-step job search system that I use begins with generating leads through networking. Someone in your network is probably the person who's going to help you to find your next employment. Filling out applications is not easy, but it's necessary. You can't just send them the resume and hope that it all works out. In some cases, they will not consider you or interview you before you have filled out an application, and it's imperative that you understand how to effectively fill out an application. So I talk about that as well. Once you filled out an application and they've decided that you have the right skills, then they're going to want to interview you. Don't you want to have an interview? Shake your head yes. Shake your head yes, you want an interview. I know you're afraid of interviews. I get it. They can be scary. You're meeting somebody for the first time, but here's what I want to tell you about interviews. It's just a conversation. It's a conversation between two professionals determining whether or not they should move together forward and work together. They're a professional at something and you're a professional at something. Have a conversation. See if what you know as a professional will help their organization to prosper. That's what interviewing is all about. Is this going to work? The skills you have, are they going to fit into the dynamic of what we're trying to create? Of course. If they are, then we're going to move forward together and let's say we'll live happily ever after, at least for a little while, however long you stay with the company, right? And then the last step of all of this is today's topic, which is following up. There are different techniques to following up on each section of job search. If you're networking, you may need to follow up by doing research on the company. You may need to call the company. You may need to walk in the front door and express interest in a particular job that they have available. You may need to ask them some questions. You may want to connect with someone in the company using social media. So let's talk about social media for just a minute. Let's talk about social media because social media is a medium that companies are using in an effort to gain employees. Okay, so let's talk about two different aspects of social media. So your personal social media, you want to be sure that if you're in job search, your social media reflects somebody that a company wants to hire. I work with my clients one-on-one to help them review their social media sites because recruiters do look there. Recruiters look at your social media. Be mindful of that. Yes, setting your pages private and all of that. There are safeguards that could possibly help them to not see things on your social media. But let's just be honest. For every safeguard, there's a smart guy that knows how to get around it. So you want to be sure that you're not projecting anything on your social media that would make an employer deterred from wanting to hire you. That's all I want to say about that. But there's also professional social media. there's a site called LinkedIn, and I call it Facebook for Professionals. But it's where you go and you create your professional profile. I was at a meeting last night. It was a CEO roundtable, and an awesome group of individuals. And after the meeting, someone walked up to me and they said, "Okay, let's connect on LinkedIn." LinkedIn is where professionals go to connect. So if you don't have a LinkedIn page, before you go to LinkedIn, go to YouTube. Yep, I said YouTube. Go to YouTube and start watching some videos about LinkedIn. YouTube is a great place for you to learn the foundation of anything. Going to YouTube and listening to different presentations there about how to develop your LinkedIn. There are people who market themselves as LinkedIn experts. I say listen to a lot of different people and find the one that makes sense for you. Find the one that you connect with and use the tips that they give you. And then go look at other people's LinkedIn pages that are in similar industry. Find one that you like. You like what it projects. You think that it shares professionally what you would like to say about yourself professionally. You know, oftentimes people say there's one way. Here, you have to do it like this. I am not that person. I don't believe that there's only one way to skin a cat. Oh, well, no, don't skin cats. No, somebody's going to call me. No, we're not hurting cats. There will be no cats harmed in the course of this broadcast. It's just a figure of speech, okay? But I believe that there are multiple ways to approach how you want to project yourself as a professional. And you have to find the way that works for you. That's why people ask me, well, why do you tell your clients to go to YouTube? Why do you tell them to go look at what other people say? Well, because I don't believe there's only one way to do it. I give a framework. I give insight. I believe that we can project ourselves more effectively by doing certain things, but I don't believe that there's only one way. I believe that individuals have to find the thing that works for them, because what works for you is what you're going to do consistently. So going out and surveying what others are saying about the topic of LinkedIn, I think can be useful. So do that. Go out there and survey. What are people saying about it? What are people saying are pet peeves that they have? Because there's recruiters that have YouTube videos out there, and they talk about it. They talk about what they don't like. They talk about what they don't want to see on there. And so go ahead and find out what recruiters are saying. It's a great place for you to do that. So I encourage you to use the tools that are out there to be able to determine how you want to project yourself. So using LinkedIn, when you're in an interview, at the end of the interview, you have an opportunity to ask questions. Ask the interviewer if it's okay that you connect to them on LinkedIn, if they have a LinkedIn page. That's a way for you to continue the cycle of communication with them, a way for you to continue to stay in touch with them. You don't want to stalk them. Right? People know what stalking means. They know what it looks like and they know what it feels like. So use your best judgment on that. And if people don't respond to you, then either they don't they don't manage their LinkedIn often. Sometimes that's why they don't respond, or for other reasons they don't want to respond. Don't continue to reach out to them. Just let it go. They're not interested in having that conversation or that exchange. That's fine. Don't take it personal. Just keep it moving. It's a great way, though, for you to build relationships. I have over 7,000 connections on LinkedIn. And so you're thinking 7,000? Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I don't personally know every one of those people, but they are part of my professional community. So what it gives me is the opportunity to connect to people when I'm looking for somebody in a particular company, or whether I'm looking for somebody in a particular industry, or if I want to research a particular company, I can reach out to people and say, I'm looking into this company. Would you be interested in having a conversation with me? Having those 7,000 people from all different industries and all different companies connected via LinkedIn, there is a professional expectation that people will reach out to you sometimes. There is an expectation that people will ask you questions. And so people are familiar with that and they even expect it, you can join groups, you can read articles. LinkedIn is definitely a place that you should be if you're a professional and if social media works for you. If it doesn't work for you, then don't worry about it. It's much better for you to not do it than for you to do it poorly. It's much better for you not to do social media as it pertains to your professional career than it is for you to just do it poorly. I've had clients that wanted me to help them to develop a LinkedIn page, and I said, we haven't yet decided what your voice is, so let's not do it just yet. It's okay to wait. It's okay to wait. But go out and learn what you can about it before you execute it. That's what I recommend. And then check in periodically with different people. If you have people that you are familiar with, that you're connected to, LinkedIn triggers things like birthdays and promotions and things like that. Say hello, say congratulations, say happy birthday, and the person may engage you. It may be just the right time for them to have a conversation and they'll reach out. And that's how you build those professional relationships that are going to give you that network that you need in order for you to remain employed. People are looking for people who are doing things. Share the things that you're doing. Don't just use it as a way to advertise what your business is. Use it as a way to share your professional expertise. Use it as a way to share what you're reading about your industry. People want to know about what's going on, and LinkedIn is a great way for you to build your voice and share with people what you're doing professionally. Be sure that you are using the tools that are out there. Be sure you're using them. I mean, you have the opportunity to go and join professional organizations. I was talking to a client the other day and I said, are you involved in any professional groups? And she said, well, I'm affiliated with this and I'm affiliated with that. I said, well, when was the last time you went to a meeting? And she just kind of got quiet. And I understand that. You do what makes sense for you. But when you join an organization, there's an expectation that you'll be active at some level. There's an expectation that you're going to be involved in it. So make the effort to be involved. Don't just show up at, what do they say, Christmas and Easter, right? Don't just show up twice a year. Go as often as you can. Most organizations have periodic meetings, or they have different things that they do for community outreach to build their voice in the community. Feel comfortable starting to go to those types of things. Find a way to connect and build relationships. The whole point of joining an organization or joining a affiliation or getting a certification is so that you build your professionalism, you build your voice, you build yourself in that particular community. So do the work, dig in, let people know who you are, let people know what your expertise is. I mentioned the CEO roundtable that I was invited to and attended last night. Amazing group of people. And I now have those connections. I now have those affiliations. Those people now have not just seen my advertisement somewhere, not just heard about me. They actually spent time with me. They actually got to ask me questions. And in the conversation that was facilitated in that meeting it was amazing. It was amazing. The guy that runs it, his name is Joe Yaz. Joe Yaz has an organization called Prestige Advisors, and I shout him out because I respect his level of professionalism. I respect what he does in the professional communities. If you don't follow Joe Yaz on LinkedIn, I think that you absolutely should. I consider him a friend, a peer professionally. And when he hosts these roundtables, I go every single time because I meet somebody amazing, and you find out intricate things about a person, their professionalism, their level of interest in different things. So be interested in people. That's the tip of the day. I said a lot of words today. I shared a lot of information with you. DJ CEO laughs at me sometimes. He says, I bet I could leave you on for 2 or 3 or 4 hours and you still have stuff to say. And I say, yeah, I would. Yeah, I would. I love this topic. I love informing people about it. I'm passionate about it. And it's not just a job. It's not just my business. It's my ministry. It's my ministry. It's the thing it's the seed that I'm planting. It's the the seed that I am planting in the community, because I truly believe if we enable people to do things, they'll do it. If we enable people by giving them the information, fill in the blanks, communicate with them, encourage them, love on them, if you will, they will take advantage of the opportunity. You know, I miss Dee the job coach because job coaching is something that I know adds value to my community. Job coaching is something that I know can help to elevate people. I know that if you're searching for a job, it's tough. You know, it's tough looking for a job. I'm very well aware how difficult it is for people to have the enthusiasm required, for people to continue on working Wednesday, to keep going in the job search journey. It's tough. I want to help you get over the hump. That's why we do Working Wednesday. That's why I'm going to show up every Wednesday that I'm able to do it. And I'm going to come and I'm going to share some ideas with you, some thoughts with you, something for you to latch on to and do the research. You know, reach out to me. Reach out in the way that makes sense for you, whether you do it via social media, through Instagram, or you do it through Twitter or through Facebook, or simply emailing me, finding me at Miss D, the job coach, somewhere on social media, finding me on a website, finding me on YouTube. I'm here. I'm out here. And I'm out here for the community. I'm out here for the people that need it. I'm out here for the young people that just want somebody to give them some answers. I'm out here for the people who are transitioning and growing and looking for the opportunity to connect with their next employment situation. You want to check in with people periodically, and you want to ask questions. And as people do the things that they do to grow their careers, interview people. That's a great way to find out about jobs. If you're a young person and you're looking for an opportunity to figure out what job you want next, interview somebody who has a job. Ask somebody who has a job what having a job is like. Sometimes I recommend that if you want a career, go interview somebody in that career. If you want a opportunity to do something, then go ask somebody to help you. I don't believe that you've got to go it alone. Yeah, I'm a job coach, but there are people in your community. There are mature people in your community that would love to help you. Reach out, ask people to help you. People want to help people. I want to help people. That's why I do what I do. And I'm so thankful to In Touch News Radio for giving me the opportunity to project my voice out onto all the outlets that you can listen to us and watch me. I mean, I told them that I wanted to be on radio, and then they got the TV going. And so now I'm on radio, and I guess I'm on TV. Well, they got me on a big TV in the room watching myself. This is so weird. I love it, though. I love that I have the opportunity. I love that people come on and listen to my voice. I got Lady K hanging out with me. I got Cree Perryman hanging out with me. And it's so funny that I'm on YouTube now on In Touch News Radio, and I found Cree Perryman through YouTube. So there are so many ways that we can connect with each other. Technology is amazing. There's almost no reason for you not to have all of the resources and all the information that you need to be successful. I think the difference between those that are successful and those that are not is that they have the opportunity to humble themselves. Is that a concept that people know about? Yeah, right? Ask and you shall receive. Ask someone. You don't know how to do something, ask someone. If they don't know how to do it, maybe they know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody. Use your network. It is Working Wednesday. I'm Margaret D. Bellot, Miss D, the job coach. This is In Touch News Radio. Our time together has come to an end today, but guess what? I'll be back next week. See you then.
smooth touch of jazz. You're listening to In Touch Radio. This is the recipe you've been waiting for. A little bit of smooth mixed with a lot of soul.
For real, player.
You're listening to In Touch Radio.
Call Ricky. Ask Ricky. You need medical or a lawyer? I got the man to do the legwork for you. We tried the other ones before, so believe we hunted down 813-248-6300. Everything gon' be okay. Call Ricky, he coming. He taking care of state of Florida. Grab a pen or something down 184-361-RICK. That's 184-361-7425. Never word from the point forward, just recline. Just ask Ricky, plus your boy statewide. Just in case you missed it, I'ma tell you one more time. 184-361-RICK. Call Ricky, ask Ricky is a legal medical referral service. The doctors and lawyers in our network are trained in handling auto injury claims and giving you the best medical treatment and recovery. Dial 1-844-361-RICK. That's 1-844-361-7425. Ricky.